The manual speaking portion of the meeting. Our first speaker is speaking from the basic manual, speech number 10. It's to inspire. Her goal is to speak slowly and tell stories that inspire the audience. The title of her speech is Living Long and Healthy Italian Style. Please help me welcome Cichetti Marsh.
On Monday night, I attended a barbecue on the beach for the summer solstice celebration. And I knew I was at a Southern California event because on the barbecue were veggie burgers, vegetable skewers, and fresh fish. No red meat to be seen anywhere. And my friend, Tony Bigaroni, was there. And he was boasting about, he was the one who brought the veggie burgers, he was boasting about how long he had been a vegetarian. I asked him, Tony, didn't you grow up in one of those Italian families like I did on Sundays when you had that gigantic Italian dinner around 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon with that red sauce that simmered all day long with pork sausage, meatballs, and any various form of meat that was left over from the week. And it sat in that sauce until it turned a blood red, and you noticed as the fat kind of laid on top that you might have been eating pure gravy. And he said, yeah, I had that. And I said, well, did your grandparents live pretty long and healthy that way? He goes, yeah, my grandfather died at 98. I said, yeah, my grandfather lived until he was 89 and healthy and happy. So this made me think. Now, I've been through some cleanses and raw food times in my life. Was that really the answer to a long, happy life, or did this Italian lifestyle kind of have a little bit of insight? So I did some research, and I found out that more than nutrition, there's a few other things that can add to our lifestyles for a longer, happier life. They kind of showed up in my Italian family as well as Tony's. And that consisted of 1, belonging to the right tribe, 2, living a contribution, and 3, living a purposeful life. Now, I was talking to Tony about this, and Tony said, yeah, my grandfather, he was kind of a good fella. He was belonging to the right tribe. I think what consists of being in the right tribe, when you know you're in the right tribe, is when somebody's watching your back. And Tony told me a story about one time when he was with his grandfather at 11 years old. They heard the trash truck. And he said, Tony, come on downstairs. Got something to do. As the trash truck approached, Tony's grandfather opened up the cabinet, took a bottle of Jack Daniels out, and 2 small glasses. The trash truck driver ran in, took 1 shot of Jack Daniels, took another shot of Jack Daniels, and said, grazie, and he was gone. And Tony's grandfather said to him, now for this, I can throw anything I want away, no questions asked. You knew that Tony's grandfather had somebody watching his back. Another sign that you're in the right tribe is that you have shared beliefs. Now, I knew when I walked into my grandparents' house, Margaret and Guido Cichetti, and any other Italian relative's house, they had shared beliefs. And the first sign was that statue of Mother Mary that also served as a bird bath. Then as you walked in every hallway, there was a picture of Jesus, the Pope, and Frank Sinatra. Also, every household had a china cabinet with the finest china, and in the drawers, the finest silver. But every Sunday dinner, you got everyday plates and average flatware. None of that was ever used in any of the time that I had a Sunday dinner at my grandparents' house. Now, the second factor in a long, healthy life, Italian style, was living a contribution. My grandfather, he was named Man of the Decade by Sons of Italy, Baltimore Division. Now, we kind of wondered what kind of contribution was really going on there. However, that same sauce he made for 5 or 6 hours every Sunday afternoon was also the sauce he made for 400 or 500 people at spaghetti dinners, church events, at the Lady of Pompeii, or any other church that happened to be Catholic, of course. And he was known to be that man that helped anyone, showed up anywhere, and lived this life of contribution, and he was recognized by his tribe. Now, he also lived a very purposeful life as well. He worked for 40 years at Bethlehem Steel, and the day he retired, my grandmother got a job. And now some people might think that she had a passion for cafeteria work, and other people might think it was just it took 2 days to realize she needed to have that same separation from my grandfather. But he turned his purpose into driving her to and from the cafeteria job that she had. And when she retired from the cafeteria work, she became a volunteer at the senior center. And he continued to drive her back and forth. Therefore, they lived a very purposeful life. And when I take a look back at the life that they had, when I walked into their house, there was family around that even though you had nothing in common with, you knew you were at home, you knew you were safe, and you knew that you belonged. And there's something that felt very joyous to that. And there was a study done back in the 60s of an Italian immigrants that went to a city in Rosetta, Pennsylvania, and they migrated from Italian city in Italy. And they noticed that all the surrounding cities had a lot higher level of heart disease than this Rosetta, Pennsylvania city. And what they've realized is that this Italian community you could walk down the street and everybody knew your name. And out of 2,000 people, there are 22 civic associations that you could belong to. And every evening, you could have a few glasses of wine with your friends. And this is what I saw with my grandparents as well as the other Italian families that we visited. And it's interesting, in that town, in Rosetta, as evolution basically came about and families started separating, the heart disease started rising, and disease started, and lifespan started to shorten. And I noticed in one generation, from this time of growing up as a little kid where all these families were around, that my daughter doesn't have that, it's gone. So, this is my new family, which is Toastmasters, which we need to start having some more Italian dinners, so now we're going to meet. And if you want to look more into a longer, healthier life, take a look at the Italians, the Cichettis, the Bigaronis, or maybe you can look into the study done in Rosetta, Pennsylvania, and you'll find out that more than the yoga, the lemon cleanses, try some meatballs, some sausage, and some Italian sauce, and you'll live a longer, healthier life.